OFW, which means Overseas Filipino Workers. Philippines is a beautiful country located in Southeast Asia region, and it is blessed with more than 7,000 islands.
Foreigners from across the world come to visit Philippines and sometimes they even stay there for a longer time and some people even choose Philippines for their retirement. While at the same time, local Filipino youth tries to leave Philippines. Now if you meet the younger generation of Philippines, they will often say that yes, I want to go to abroad, I want to work there, I want to have a better life and I want to give a better life to my family. Now, most of the overseas Filipino workers are celebrated as modern day heroes by the government. But how about their pain? What are the challenges of being an OFW? So, in this video, we will try to understand the dark side of overseas Filipino workers program and most importantly, a reality of being an OFW. Now, if you are born in a beautiful country called Philippines, chances are that you will end up working as a teacher, you will either become a nurse, you will either go to Metro Manila and work in a call center, or if you are a guy, you will end up working at the sea. Now the core reason is that Philippines has lack of decent opportunity and jobs in the local market. Now for any given country, if it wants to retain its youth, then instead of letting go elsewhere, it has to do something. However, country requires that it builds competitive educational institutes for its younger generation. Then it should provide better job market to its younger generation. And at the same time, there should be competitive, nice paying jobs available within the same countries. If it happens, then such youth will never go outside. Now, Philippines has a tourism based economy and most of the revenue comes from the tourism related businesses. Now, many middle class families struggle to provide time and money which is necessary for their children to get a higher education. So, at the end of the day, they get a higher paying competitive jobs. Secondly, the only way a country can give a decent job market is by creating an economy where businesses, industries, entrepreneurships are given enough incentives by the government so not only local but even foreign investment can be attracted into the same country and then very nice decent and competitive jobs are created for the local market. Now this is exactly the major challenge in the Philippines. Secondly, as Filipinos reach to their high school degree or even at the college level, they start to realize the reality of the life. Often they come across their relatives, cousins, friends who are already in other countries working as an OFW, earning a good pay and sending a good money to their Filipino families. So either they can choose being a teacher, being a nurse, working in a call center, or they can choose to work as an OFW worker in another country. Most of the time, giving a better life to their families is the core reason to become an OFW. Filipinos send highest amount of remittance to their country. This is why they are celebrated as heroes. Do you know that OFWs contribute to more than 10% of Philippines entire GDP? And sometimes the average remittance per year is approximately $20 billion. Just imagine that. Okay. However, the $1 million question for all of us is, should the government really celebrate them as heroes? Should government encourage that more and more youth should become an OFW? Shouldn't actually the government work on the local economy to create jobs? Shouldn't government try to retain the country's young talent? These are the serious questions which require our attention. Now, on top of that, OFWs stay away from their families and home for a long time. They sometimes face many serious issues. For example, sometimes many overseas Filipino workers get harassed, they get abused, they get threatened by their host in other countries. There have been many such critical reports. Sometimes government is able to address such issues, but many of the times government could not do anything. While their own families appreciate OFWs to help them live a better life in Philippines and government in turn appreciate them for bringing so much remittance. However, OFWs end up paying a huge price for this emotionally, mentally and sometimes even physically. Now, let's have a latest example about global coronavirus pandemic. It has really hit hard on OFWs. Many of them have lost their jobs. They ended up relying on their friends and relatives for money. When they return to their families due to the lockdown, they have ruined their entire saving and nothing was left. Many of the time, they have started taking debts. Many of the homes built in Philippines are funded by the overseas Filipino workers. They actually become the bank for their families, and sometimes they try to fulfill the responsibility in such a way that they even go into the debt for their families. Now, at the end of the day, from the families to the government, everyone wins when overseas Filipinos work and they send money. But when they face issue, sometimes they fight alone and they end up sacrificing their dreams, their ambition, their passion, and sometimes just even simple things in their life. So, just by labeling them as modern day heroes, we cannot cover the reality of an entire country or the reality of OFW workers. If government starts to create an environment wherein youth has decent work opportunities, why would they leave such a beautiful country, their own home called Philippines?